Tonight on Podcast Them Down, we're talking about part of Maryland Death Fest 2026.
Podcast them down.
Hail Metal Nation, it is I, Tim. That is Mike. And allows for the video. What did we call them? Twatchers?
The Twatchers.
That was a tweet for the Twatchers. That was a treat for the Twatchers. I didn't do my vocal warm-ups.
I like a tweet for the Twatchers.
It's a tweet for the Twatchers. So, Maryland Death Fest. Short for Maryland Death Metal Festival. That's the official name.
Right.
I was watching, this has nothing to do with anything, but I was watching, have you heard of a movie called Troll 2?
Yes.
Yes. So
They're
there's
eating
a documentary about the movie, like the actors, like where are they now? And the one guy is a dentist in Alexander City, Alabama.
Okay.
But officially the name of that city is the city of Alexander City. No, that's what I was thinking of for Maryland Death Metal Festival.
Nice.
So, Maryland Death Fest, 2026. I have gone, I think, once ever before this, and it was only to see My Dying Bride, and it was back when it was at what was called the Edison lot.
Yeah.
This year, credit to Christopher from Burning Shadows. He's the one who convinced me to go, and everyone I knew was already going, so I actually showed up this year. And I totally get why everyone loves it so much. This is my first time since they moved it again. We'll get into that. But for those who don't know, that typing is like loud and clear.
Sorry, I have this. This is clearly something that belongs to my daughters. It's like this stacked pen thing. Uh-huh. And I can't stop playing with it. Okay. I'll stop playing with it.
That's fine. Death Fest is what? 5 days? 4 days? There's a
4 days. There's pre-fest and then Thursday through Sunday. And
it takes over a bunch of venues in Baltimore and they add some new ones.
Yeah.
And it's all death metal, more or less. It's extreme metal.
Oh, they had Ghost one year.
Yeah, so it's not even metal sometimes.
And they had Anvil one year.
And it's not even good sometimes. I just watched Anvil, the story of Anvil recently too.
Nice. All right, because I need to explain my incredibly clear typing, I'm loading up the previous lineups as we speak.
Ooh, that sounded good too.
Nice. If they have.
Yeah, so whatever year My Dying Bride was, that's when I went. And they said, my story from that one is that Aaron Stainthorpe, I think that's his name, he was walking around the crowd, and I said, I'm only here for you. And he said, I hope we don't fuck it up for you. I have stolen that. I've been saying that to other people ever since.
That's amazing.
Like, I'm excited to see your band. Well, I hope I don't fuck it up for you. And they did a good show, and now Aaron Stainthorpe is lost. They said it wouldn't be another 10 years before they came back to the U.S., and I'm pretty sure they haven't been back since. And now Aaron Stainthorpe is not in My Dying Bride, so.
What the hell, man?
So I'm glad I went. My motivation this year was primarily Old Man's Child and The Crown. But it was Old Man's Child first before you told me The Crown's deal. So that worked out nice. But I was hesitant because talking to someone in one of my many other bands, Greg, he said he looked up Old Man's Child's set lists lately, and they've only been playing the first 4 albums, which I don't really know all that well. You know, I only know the later stuff. And, but it turns out it didn't matter because, since, it's not like they evolved all that much.
Right.
Like, their songs still sound like Old Man's Child. And by the way, my wife says that's a horrible band name. But they did play some newer stuff. They did pull out some newer songs.
What were we doing while we were waiting? It was like Old Child's Man. Yeah. Man, Old Child.
I think it started with Child's Old Man.
An old man child. But yeah, no, I mean, like, Death Fest. Okay, so full disclosure, I went to the first 3, and then I went to
Me and Kurt Cobain.
yeah. No, who did I see?
Wasn't
I
it?
went.
I was one of those grind bands at the first one.
Well, okay, so at the very first one, there were there's Circle of Dead Children, Devourment, Dying Fetus. Let's see, Lang Shay, who was really fun.
That's the one I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
Was that the band where the guy is a ninja?
Yes.
Like a ninja.
And he stepped on my CDs because I put them in the absolute worst place.
In the middle of the stage.
Pyrexia, who I will never forgive.
Wasn't that bad? What?
Okay, nobody knew who Pyrexia was, and nobody knows who Pyrexia. Right? Like, there's just some.
Don't they make the glass you can bake in?
Yeah, that's them. It's the what is it? Oh, I was trying to sound smart, but I don't remember the chemical composition.
It's still like a glass, Mike.
Oh, thank you. All right, so Pyrexia was playing, and they were getting a warm but not over the top reception.
They're from Long Island, it looks like.
Yes. So the singer decided to just drop the mic and leave after 3 songs.
Aww.
And the band that played after them was Dying Fetus, who filled up that time.
Nice.
So that's why I will never forgive Pyrexia, because they inflicted more Dying Fetus on me.
That's funny. I liked one Dying Fetus thing. It was early on. I liked Misery Index, and then they got bad too. It never did it for me.
Dying Fetus was at the very first death metal show I ever saw. And I enjoyed that show quite a bit. So I'm talking shit when I shouldn't. But I didn't realize Necrophagist was at the 2003 one too.
Oh, wow.
I don't know that I knew who they were at the time. But anyway, I had a great time at that show, but just generally since then, I just can't get into their stuff. So I went to the first 3, and the first 2 were at the Thunderdome.
Where was it? Wait, where was the first one? Oh, wait. Sorry. I thought one of them was at Sidebar for some reason.
No. They've had some. I'm sorry, there are children running around my house.
Are they your children, or
yes,
are they just feral children?
Just feral children.
Or both, yeah. Well,
yeah.
Thunderdome. So that was a venue in Brooklyn, Maryland.
Yes.
There is a Brooklyn, Maryland. This is basically just part of Baltimore. And if I remember correctly, it was 2 levels.
Yeah.
And basically wasn't all that big, but I saw Manowar there.
Oh, wow.
And I played there, not with Manowar, but I have a VHS tape of me playing there. That's how old that venue is.
Oh, boy. Yeah, like
It closed down for some reason.
Yeah, I still don't know why. But yeah, okay, so it was the first 2 years was that, and then I believe the 3rd year was the House of Rock.
Oh, like up in White Marsh?
Yeah, which is not the right spot.
I saw Ashes of Aries at the House of Rock. They don't do shows anymore.
That's too bad.
But basically it was like a half hour north of the city, north of Baltimore, on a highway, and it wasn't a very good venue.
That venue is a trap for bands that aren't in the country.
Like, House of Rock, Baltimore, yeah.
Yeah, so like Pain of Salvation played a show at the Jacks, and then they played House of Rock the next day. And like, if you're not from this area, it's like, that's not far enough away. Those are too close. You're not going to go to both. You're going to go to one or the other.
And then I bet they played Philly after that.
Probably.
And it's not, White Marsh isn't far enough from Philly either.
Yeah. But I will say, for the Death Fest, it actually worked out decently, at least at the size that it was then. That was, Bird Flesh was there, Immolation, Ghoul, Gronabard, who I missed. I'm still mad about that. Did I get to see Lord Gore? I think I did get to see who I love. Rotten Sound, who I believe hit on a friend of mine. Oh, no, that was in 2004. Lady.
Did Rotten Sound play this weekend, too?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I thought
On
about
your lady again?
no. I thought about texting my friend and being like, "Hey, Rotten Sound's back in town." Oh, actually, okay, 2004. I guess this is just a reminiscing episode now.
Yeah, we'll get to this weekend shortly.
So 2004, the Red Chord played, and the Red Chord was like deathcore before deathcore was a term, if that makes sense. It was like
Oh, they sucked.
well, they were like, hey, they actually said explicitly, I know we're not straight up death metal, but thanks for having us. And they played all of their heaviest shit, which was,
At least they tried.
they were great, actually. They were one of the most intense bands I've ever seen. Yeah, they were fabulous. But yes.
So, yeah, it's they're metal enough to be on the Metal Archives. Which
Yeah,
surprises me.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time, but they didn't really like deathcore was not a term when they played Death Fest. Then I went later though because I wanted to see Bethlehem more or less. Oh, and tragically, Electric Wizard was there. God damn. Oh, and Nauseam. It was without the original singer. Oh yeah, so that was 2012, and I
This
went.
took me too long to find.
Yeah.
I gotta make that a different color so it stands out better.
Even worse, next year was Sleep, which is terrible.
Hey,
But
at least you had a long bathroom break built in.
well, I saw them because it's like I've listened to Dope Smoker a few times. It's like okay, it's all right. And I was like, they can't really just be playing one note, right? It's incorrect. That is what they're doing.
Like when I saw the Grateful Dead and they jammed on a B minor for 20 minutes. And yes, I timed it because I was bored shitless and I had nothing else to do.
But yeah, so 2013, I went and I think I went more or less to see Bolt Thrower and Carcass. One of these years I missed Godflesh and I should have stayed.
So eventually they moved to the Edison lot, right?
Yes.
And that was just all outdoors. Did they do anything in Sonar, which was another Baltimore nightclub?
So they did, and they did it both when it was Sonar and after it had closed. Weirdly, so they would just open up the building, and you could go in and basically listen to death metal in the corpse of Sonar.
That's extremely metal right there.
Yeah, but that.
Yeah, go on.
Well, so they did a bunch of shows there, which honestly I sort of preferred. But then they moved it to basically the Inner Harbor of Baltimore.
Yeah, so the Inner Harbor was the touristy part. It's right by the water, as implied by Inner Harbor. For decades, there has been a mall around the Inner Harbor, but it basically died and like everything's gone now.
Yeah.
But there's still a handful of they're allegedly gonna redo the whole Inner Harbor. I bet they're just gonna jam those condos that they've been jamming everywhere else. But
Yeah.
anyway, but you can like walk around the National Aquariums there. So this is literally the stage. Like that's what people know Baltimore for is the aquarium. The stage is literally a block from the aquarium. So,
Yeah. And they shut down the whole road. So like normally what you would do is you want to go to the Baltimore Soundstage or Nevermore Hall, and
I still will not call it that. It's Ram's Head.
you would go on Pratt Street and take a left on the Market Street.
Pratt Street being the road that goes from the highway. It goes right by Camden Yards where the O's play, and it goes straight along the Inner Harbor, and then hits 83. Well, the road that becomes 83.
Right.
And then when you're leaving Baltimore, you're on Lombard Street going west. These are one-way streets.
Yeah, so what they do is they close down the whole of Market Street and they build a stage there. And I think this is more or less the main stage, right? Like
The
this
biggest
is
stage.
Yeah, it's where the huge bands play. Then they also take over Baltimore Soundstage. And then
Which is a venue on that block.
yes.
That's an indoor venue that's there.
Then across Lombard, They take over the entire Power Plant Live complex. So there's a bunch of bars and restaurants, and it's basically all fenced off for Death Fest. They add a stage in what I think is not, it's not a stage area, right? Like,
it's just like it's a covered
section.
area between, like, it's kind of like a pedestrian mall, but instead of shops, it's like one block of bars and a nightclub and Nevermore Hall.
Right.
Cause Edgar Allan Poe, you see. And what else? There's Angel's Rock Bar, which is in the same area. It's upstairs. That is also taken over by Death Fest.
That one's kind of weird because they put sort of, and I hate to say this because it's gonna sound mean, but they put the Also Ran bands in there. You know what I mean? Like these guys are playing.
Yeah, they tend to put locals.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a handful of like local-ish bands that they'll have play, and they'll put them on against the huge bands, and they'll stick them in Angel's Rock Bar.
If any of our bands were going to play Death Fest, it would be at Angel's Rock Bar.
Right. So former Burning Shadows guitarist and bassist Aaron and Greg are in a band called Inhumation. They've played Death Fest twice. They've played in Soundstage and in Angels. I think it was Angels first. And they had to go up against like Incantation or something.
Oh God.
Like, oh well. They still had a good time.
They still say you played Death Fest.
Yeah. So but they also take over. So this is like a north-south block. They also kind of creep around the corner and take up another block called Water Street. And so they have vendors all over the place. So they do not shut down Lombard Street or Pratt Street. So if you're going from the main stage to like the Nevermore Hall, you leave the security perimeter, cross an incredibly busy road, often with the help of traffic police, and then you have to go through metal detectors again. Every time you go into one of the areas, you have to show your wristband and get metal detected, and it just seems like it was constantly going off and no one cared.
Well, not only that, like if you buy a beer at one bar and then you go across the street to see another band, that's like it's an issue.
Yeah, so they had to finish. If you bring a beer from outside, they make you stand there and drink it before you go in. And then you're also, this whole area is surrounded by a handful of parking garages as well. So I've been seeing videos on Instagram of people just filming from the parking garages instead of being down there.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad view.
Yeah, it sounds probably awful though.
True.
And
yeah.
and there are restaurants and touristy things like open for business all around just outside the perimeter. So they put up like this fence, and there's people like families walking with their kids from the Maryland Science Center trying to go to 7-Eleven.
Yeah, there's Port Discovery, which is like an indoor kids thing, which is open. Yeah. You just walk by all the Death Fest stuff. I should also note, we were talking about this. So Otakon used to be in Baltimore, like the anime convention.
That's right.
And that used to be consistently on the same weekend as Death Fest. And then there's invariably an Orioles game or two over Memorial Day weekend. I don't know anything about baseball schedules. But you would have this mix of like death metal, like anime nerds and furries and stuff, and baseball fans just roaming around the same section of the city, which I always thought was hilarious.
There is it looks like Otakon is now late July, early August, which is when Wacken happens.
That's in D.C., I think.
It's at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center in Northwest D.C.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, well, we got to start D.C. Death Fest.
just follow around Otakon.
Yeah. It'll be July 31st.
Yeah. Oh,
There's also, by the way, an IHOP and a Popeyes right next to the main stage. I kept seeing pictures of like people crowd surfing in front of Popeyes, And if you look at it quick, it looks like they fucking love chicken. Their chicken!
That's amazing.
I love their chicken from Popeyes. There's
All right.
also a hoity-toity like wine bar right at that corner.
Oh yeah.
A Blackwall Hitch.
They must hate this.
We've had more monocles breaking this week than.
All right. So let's get into actual 2026.
All right, let me get my complaining out of the way.
Okay.
I don't know if this is a 2026 thing or these people are regulars, but when you're going between the perimeters, they make you show your wristband. And for some reason, everyone's showing their wristband like way before they have to. And I found that to be annoying. Second, there were guys in every major mosh pit with 2 inflatable hammers, and they were hammering people. And all I can think of is how fucking pissed off I'd be. But I also wouldn't be in the mosh pit anyway. I am the worst concert goer.
Yeah.
I want to stand there and stare at the guy's hands going, what key is the song in?
See the guy dressed up as the guy from One Piece?
I don't know what One Piece is, so no.
It's an anime. It's very popular.
Oh, well, you should have told him Otakon isn't
I almost did.
anymore.
I almost did. It was like, they moved, man. They're not here anymore.
Oh, I just hate crowd surfers in general. And there were a lot of of course, it's a fest. Everyone's crowd surfing. It's just, I just don't like them. Ever since I was at Vakken and I saw some poor person get kicked in the head by some idiot wearing combat boots and flailing around like a moron while he's being crowd surfed. Like, the correct way to crowd surf is like stiff as a board, light as a feather, right?
Right.
But no one does that. They try to sit up. Their butt hits people. They kick people. It's fucking miserable. You're an asshole if you do it, and you're a tremendous asshole if you keep doing it. Mr. White Shirt during the Crown. Oh my God, I hated that guy. Anyway.
So I believe when Bolt Thrower was playing, when I went to one of the Edison Lot Death Fests, some guy from way far back starts crowd surfing, and he looked alarmed the entire time. So he came from behind me and then kept going, and then he came back.
What? He bounced.
And he again looked very alarmed this entire time, and then I think at one point he fell. So it seemed like that was like your ideal crowd surfing moment.
I love it. Yeah. But I just get out of the way. I'm not even where crowd surfers are. And if they start doing that, I leave. I'm not getting kicked in the head because you're an asshole. You know?
Yeah.
I also don't like mosh pits. I'm so lame.
Yeah. I would, I don't know, break like a dry twig in a mosh pit. All right.
Well,
all right.
at least the mosh pits I saw were circle pits. But anyway, 2026.
All right, so the pre-fest looked pretty cool, actually. Napalm Death was the headliner. We had Repulsion, Monstrosity. I don't know Primitive Man or Organ Dealer.
I've heard. Oh, Primitive Man, I think, is local, actually.
Okay, but I was tempted by that show. Like, that actually seemed kind of cool. But I didn't go. I have children. We have Thursday. I know a lot of these bands, but I largely don't give a shit.
Are we flying through them? November's Doom. They're good. I have one CD. It's the most bass heavy CD I've ever heard.
Yeah. Solitude Aeternus. I mean, I've heard of them, but I've not listened to, and maybe that makes me terrible.
Who do you like more, Bong Ripper or Bongzilla?
I like them equally.
They both probably like the worst part of Black Sabbath.
Yes.
This band Are Awake, that's clearly a typo.
I've heard of them, but again, I've never heard them. So basically, this whole day, it's like lost on me. I can't even read some of this.
Oh, I'm just, if you go to the deathfests.com/lineup, it's pretty, it's in plain text. Avernus, Lair of the Minotaur, Black Lung, Torso Fuck, Putridity, Cephalotripsy. Is that's drilling a hole in your head to let out the pressure, right? I think that's what that is.
Nice.
Condemned, Emasculator.
Which I would have loved to have seen.
Yeah, I didn't even realize they were playing. Emasculator has Sierra White as their drummer, and we interviewed her a while ago. I would link it, but I know I'm gonna forget. So, but if you want to, we interviewed her right as she was starting out with that band. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that might be interesting. And then cerebral hemorrhage, and that is Thursday. So far nothing like moves the needle for me except for Emasculator. Like, I wouldn't go out of my way. I live like 20 minutes away from Death Fest. You know? Like,
right.
It's so light of a lift for me to go to this thing.
Yeah.
But just every year I'm like, I don't want to put my time or money into this.
Well, I mean, it sort of was like, it creates an interesting scenario for us because we can just kind of go at the drop of a hat. Like if there are tickets available, and we can also just go only for the bands we give a shit about.
Right. Which is nice. Like if I lived in Atlanta, I'd be showing up at Prague Power every single day.
Yeah.
It's or Madison, Wisconsin. I'd be going to Mad with Power, but because the ticket price isn't the major cost. I know this is like obvious, but it wasn't until recently that like anyone bothered stating it in my conversations. The ticket price isn't the problem. It's the travel and the hotel that's the problem.
Right.
So yeah, if you live nearby like we do, it's like insignificant to drop the ticket money for one day to see shows of this caliber, Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, Saturday was sort of lost on us, but Friday was
Thursday was lost.
Yeah. Sorry. Thursday was lost on us, but Friday was like phenomenal. So
Friday. Yeah. You go ahead.
Yeah. We got Old Man Child, Rotting Christ, God Dethroned, Necrofire, and Witch Vomit. I am aware of the first three of those bands.
So Rotting Christ did an old school set, 89 to 95. God Dethroned, it's their 35th anniversary. I've never heard of the other two, which explains why we showed up just in time to see God Dethroned. So that was the start of the day. And again, if I had traveled, I would have been there for the very first band to get my money's worth.
Right. Then at Power Plant Live, we have The Crown, and The Crown is the entire reason I went on Friday. They are one of my favorite bands. I've never seen them. So, and then they're just banding at the end of this year. So it was like, all right, I'm going. Wolfheart, who
finished melodic death metal.
We didn't get to hear too much of, but they sounded interesting, I thought. Left Cross,
some death metal band from Richmond, Virginia, I think.
I don't like that name. It makes me think of Left Shark and Right Shark from Katy Perry's Super Bowl performance.
She goes Katy Perry started as like a Christian musician, so maybe if she goes back to that, she can have Left Cross and Right.
Did she really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she did.
Oh. Okay, so then we have Pazuzu.
Orense Pazuzu.
Which is what Mark went for.
Yeah, wasn't Pazuzu the pet Futurama?
Oh, Pazuzu's the demon that possessed Linda Blair.
My sister went to Blair High School. Now that was a Blair Witch reference.
Oh. Okay, then we had Der Weg einer Freiheit, which
the way of freedom. Freedom.
That band is pretty cool. Like I would have liked to have seen them, but getting into Nevermore Hall when we decided to go was basically impossible. Wayfarer, we played with Wayfarer, right?
Well, there's a bunch of Wayfarers.
Oh,
it's the Path of Freedom. All right, I was pretty right. I forgot what. Yeah, seeing these bands in a venue with people who have been like outside and inside all day over Memorial Day weekend, this weekend notwithstanding, I feel like would be awful. Just BO. Wayfarer, this is probably the one that Decibel magazine like loves to jizz all over because they love them so hard. I think they're from Colorado, if it's the one I think it is.
Okay.
That's why I canceled my Decibel subscription. They like find a couple bands they have hard-ons for and then just never talk about anything else. Shut up.
Did we cover everything in Nevermore Hall?
Nope. Pan American Native Front with a K.
Yeah, and I don't know anything
Lumsk.
about that. Not Lumsk, because Lumsk. There's a Lumsk from Norway. This is not them.
Okay, and then at Soundstage Levidity Rotrevor to violently vomit.
Which apparently is just disgorge.
Odd.
Which I didn't know.
Diabolic, Oath, Melting Rot, and Ord. ORDH.
And then Angels Rock Bar.
Tithe, Bone Weapon, Withering Soul.
Tithe, what a great logo that is. I love that logo. Okay, anyway, so let's talk about Friday, because we got there in the middle of God Dethroned.
All right, so I last saw God Dethroned in 2000. They were on tour with Cannibal Corpse.
Nice.
And I could just walk up and talk to the guy. And he looked pretty much the same back then. But he was playing a BC Rich Mockingbird. And I remember being a dumb kid and walking up. I'm like, your guitar is awesome. And he goes, oh, thank you. And that was me talking to God the Throne.
We ended up seeing more of their set than I thought we would.
Yeah.
Because we got there late.
Yeah, it was rainy. There was lots of traffic coming up for no reason. It just stopped.
But I don't know God Dethroned at all. So, seemed fun. Seemed fine.
Not a word I'd use, but yeah.
So then we went across this. So once they finished, we went.
And it tried to rain, but failed.
Yes.
It had been raining all day, and I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Because the main stage is outdoors.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So, okay. So we went across the street then. We were going to try to find Mark, and we were going to check out Left Cross. We heard Left Cross. And we were like, that's.
Then we went to the vendors. So.
Yeah, I waited in line at the official merch vendor for like 45 minutes.
So I did remember enjoying the vendors at the when I saw My Dying Bride. So all the vendors, they're all selling CDs, some cassettes, LPs, lots and lots and lots of band shirts. And then several that are selling like armor, leather armor, metal armor. You know, it's just like stuff you think you're gonna love and wear, and then you buy, and then you never wear it again unless you're starting a band.
Right.
You know? And I'm saying this as someone who has bought armor and thought they'd love it, and then got sick of it and stopped wearing it, you know, so cautionary tale. And then, what else? It's like pretty much all the vendors. Now, I did find something interesting. I got 2 cassettes because I've been looking for some cassettes, and these are Metallica's first singles. I think what happened was they got signed to Elektra, and they're like, we need to promote your earlier stuff. So this is Jump in the Fire, and this is interesting because they have live. So both sides of the tape are the same thing.
Right.
So it's 3 songs: Jump in the Fire, Seek and Destroy, Phantom Lord. But those last 2 songs are live. They're not live. They just played them in a studio and added crowd noise.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so you know why I wanted this. And this is available, like, this is available already on things, but now I actually have it, you know?
Okay.
And then the other one, Creeping Death, is Creeping Death and then Garage Days Revisited. The first time they recorded covers, which were Blitzkrieg and Am I Evil? And so when they made their 1987 EP, they called it Garage Days Revisited.
Interesting.
Which is a detail that people like, why is it called that? And there's your trivia. It's because Metallica's B-sides for the Creeping Death single was called Garage Days Revisited. even though I'm pretty sure they were still in a garage until Master of Puppets.
Nice.
There you go. And I did check Discogs before I bought them. These are the real things. Let's see, this one's French, and this one is English. So, pretty cool to find that stuff. The guy, I talked to the guy and saw them, and then went and looked them up and came back. And he goes, "Oh, you came back." I was like, I was gone for like 90 seconds. I went over by the bathroom. So the bathroom situation is porta potties if you're outside.
There is a lot of them.
Yeah.
To be fair, like,
and if you have a ticket that lets you into one of the venues, so that's the thing. We only bought the outdoor ticket. You have to pay more to get into the venues. There are bathrooms in the venues.
Right. But like, there's also, I don't know, if you're observant enough, you can find lesser known porta potty situations. Which we did.
Yeah.
And I ain't telling none of you.
That's right.
I ain't telling.
There are various bars and food vendors around. This is for the time capsule. Beers cost $10. So I didn't have any beers. The food was an interesting mix because they had, for example, a whole vegetarian Thai food stand.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And they were right next to the Nepali food. So
yeah, it was like legit food vendors.
yeah. And the only problem with the Nepali food was it was like a chicken tikka masala was $22, which is steep if you ask me. So like you're down $32 if you get dinner and a beer. You know, I got the vegetarian pad thai. Yeah,
I mean the other thing about that chicken tikka masala price is that's pretty much close to what Royal Taj is, and if I'm going to pay that much for chicken tikka,
you don't want it out of a warming tray.
No, I'm going directly to the greatest Indian restaurant in Maryland.
Yeah, but again, you can leave the area pretty easily and just go to Popeyes if you want to.
Right.
Or IHOP, get a Rooty Tooty fresh and fruity, and then
there you go.
Back.
So I waited in the official vendor line because I wanted the Crown merch, and they had one shirt and they were sold out of my size. But it was actually pretty bad because I literally waited for 45 minutes. It's incredibly slow.
But there were friends you made along the way.
Yeah, I did start chatting with people because that's what I do.
That tent was, I just skipped the line and looked. And that tent was like intimidating because they have every band on Death Fest, more or less.
Right.
In alphabetical order. It's like this giant tent.
The one thing that you did miss was an incredibly awkward, obvious drug deal. Some guy that, I don't know, he looked like, I don't know, a weathered Steven Tyler. Like, he just like winds his way to they have like a fence all around, like metal fencing. And he winds his way to the fence and he's like looking around, and me and everybody else in line are like,
this guy about.
Yeah. And I just see him go like he puts his hand up to the edge, grabs something, and then walks away. And it was like I look at my friends I made along the way, who were very nice, and we're all like, yeah, it was incredibly obvious. It was really funny though. Okay, but after the vendor situation, we went across the street, you had already been there, but I joined you to see Rotting Christ. Who was not what I was expecting. I think I expected them to be much more like, I don't know.
Black metal?
Or more death metal, I guess. But they're more, I don't know, kick-ass rock and roll than I was expecting.
Yeah, they have a handful of those songs for some reason.
Yeah, and a lot of what they played seemed like that. It was fine.
Yeah, I feel like their set was too long, but I feel that way of most extreme metal. Like,
yeah.
My attention span for it, for the most part, is not that long. I think they did a decent job, like picking a set that changed, that kind of evolved, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they were entertaining. They certainly know what they're doing. But you know, we watch them. I don't know them, so I can't speak particularly well to like set list or anything. But then we decided to go back across the street to check out Wolfheart. But I noticed a coffee truck that had actual snob level coffee beans. So we stopped and got coffee, which took for fucking ever.
Yeah, it seemed like they had one grinder and one espresso machine.
Ugh.
And so the coffees took a very long, they were delicious.
They were very good. They used Black Acres, which is you can find in the Lexington market. They're very, very good.
Did you say Black Acres?
Yes, Black Acres.
That sounds pretty metal.
It is pretty metal. They had a La Marzocco
Gesundheit.
Mini. So they had a legit espresso machine, which is why I stopped at all. But yeah, the coffee was great. But we didn't get to see much of Wolfheart because of how long it took. So after that, we wound back over to Market Street and saw Old Man's Child, who I don't know anything about. But they were really, really fun.
Yeah, so Old Man's Child, yeah, I got into them when Galder joined Dimmy Borgir back in the days when Dimmy Borgir had talent. And so Galder joined and yeah, bought a bunch of their CDs, and it was like, this is fantastic. And then never thought I'd see them. I think they stopped doing stuff for a while, but then lo and behold, they're playing here. Greg was like, they're only going to play old stuff. I was more into the new stuff. I should look up their set to see what the album breakdown was, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love the whole, like, I don't know, chalky Uncle Fester look Galder has going on.
Yep. And that's when the rain really started.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Galder had he had this black and red Jackson Rhodes, and I know everyone hates Jackson because of what Fender is doing right now, but
Does Fender own Jackson?
Yes, unfortunately.
I did not know that.
Or at least they used to. Last I checked, they did.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So, but it was a very good set. I knew more of it than I expected. I like how I just like Galder in general, like, because it's like he's a thin Uncle Fester. Yeah, I think you nailed it.
Well, but yeah, so for me, who knows very little of this, I mean, for one, it's very like it's very symphonic black metal, which I realize is what they are, but like they do it well, right? And they have the whole like super high pitched vocals, super evil, you know. The guys in the band, I mean, I don't know. The one guy looked like he Cro-Magnon hair, right?
Oh yeah.
I love that guy. But they were just ultra fast, super tight, super entertaining. And yeah, I had a great time. I really enjoyed watching them.
So they played one song off Vermin, which is their second newest album. Nothing off Slaves of the World, which was their last album. One off In Defiance of Existence. Two off Revelation 666. And then it was heavily, relatively, Pagan Prosperity and Ill-Natured Spiritual Invasion, which were the first two albums. No, the second and third album.
Okay. But yeah, like I had a great time. I really liked that.
Yep. So right before I left, I almost put on my normal shoes, but then I remembered the rain, so I actually put on waterproof shoes, like hiking shoes, and I got a jacket I don't care about as hard as my other jackets, but this one has a hood, and I got a hat that needed washing, so I probably stuck out because I'm wearing like a European camo jacket and a Seattle Kraken hat, and but the rain, once the rain really kicked in, put up the hood and it didn't permeate too much. So I, checked the forecast, dress for the death metal weather.
Right.
It worked out good. I was cold for like another day afterwards, but I bet Death Fest is usually way too fucking hot. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was just wearing a hoodie. I actually was surprisingly comfortable, and that's because I've gotten fat.
Yeah. You have a protective layer of insulation.
Yeah, once you get that layer of blubber, then you're pretty okay.
Well, I think you were the only overweight person at the festival.
All right. So after they played, then we went across the street to get in place for the crown, and there was an interesting situation here.
For whatever reason, I thought there was less time.
Yeah, there was like a good 30 minutes, which was perfect because everybody else went, I don't know, to get beer or whatever, and we just went straight. We were at the very front, off to the side.
People could have split off there. So there were two bands that started after Old Man's Child. There was Rotravor and Der Weg einer Freiheit, which were at both the indoor venues.
Right.
Or they could have gotten in the beer line. But either way, there was no one there for the crowd. So we walked right up to the rail on the side where there are no crowd surfers.
And it eventually filled up, right? Like it was pretty packed once Showtime was there. But let's see. This was the star of the show for me, so I remember it very vividly. So before they started playing, they had Don't Fear the Reaper play, which was interesting. And then they had, I believe, the intro. They had an intro play. I think it might be from their most recent album. But then they just went like that band is absolutely ridiculous. They are so fast always. And it doesn't get boring either somehow. So they started with Killing Star, which, I believe is the final song off of, Death Race King. Then they went straight to Death Explosion, which is the first song off of Death Race King,
that song, I've always loved that riff. Yeah.
Yeah.
He picked it with what they call economy picking.
Okay.
And so instead of how nerdy do we want to get
Super
guitaring? So how I would play that the traditional way would be down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or down, up, down, down, up, down, down.
Yeah.
Right? He plays it down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up.
Right. It's true alternating.
Yeah. So basically his hand keeps stopping and starting. He did it like he was walking down the street. It was like the easiest thing ever for him. And he's playing like a million miles an hour, this tricky riff. It's just like, whatever. Oh my God. And the band, I have to comment on the appearance. That guitarist in particular looked like Charlie Benantante from Anthrax. The other guitarist looked like Steve Buscemi to me. And then the bassist looked like he showed up for a punk band rehearsal. And
a few years
I'll play with you guys too. He was, I liked them all.
Yeah, I did too.
And then the singer he looked like he belonged. And then the drummer was like super muscular and young. Like there's no way he was the drummer back in the.
No, I looked that up.
And he moved so fast and so precisely, and so it played so heavily. I thought he was going to punch through the snare drum. It was just like lots of power. It was great watching him play.
Yeah, so like, for the most part, blast beats, you'd think obviously when you're hitting that fast, you're not going to be hitting as hard. I don't know that there is a variance in velocity with the crowd. I mean, it's just always 100%.
Right.
And I don't think they're triggered. They could be. Maybe they are.
I didn't notice any, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean they weren't.
Right. I would be surprised because they seem like a band that doesn't, like, I don't know, faff around. But they, who knows? But yeah, so Death Explosion, they go straight to Executioner. So it's basically the first 2 tracks off of Death Race King, which is perfect.
And those were the 2 songs I wanted to hear the most.
Yeah, so
Like, I'm done.
they just fucking nailed it. They might have messed up at one point, but it was...
Yeah, the Charlie Benetante made one mistake and rolled his eyes. He's like, "Oh man, it was great." And then he just picked it up like a half a measure later.
Yeah, it was
But
totally
I very
fine.
much enjoyed that.
Yeah, you know, that sort of thing isn't bad, right? Like, you know, if you're doing it constantly, okay. But, you know, here and there, it's like, that's right. They're human.
They're Swedish. I don't know if that's better or worse.
So then we got Under the Whip, which is off of Crowned in Terror.
Which I said was about pie, but it turns out it's not.
Let's see.
Hard stop on that one.
We got Blitzkrieg Witchcraft, which is again off of Death Race King, after Under the Whip. We have At the End. I don't know what At the End is from. Hell is Here. Okay, I didn't know this song super well because I mostly know kind of, I say like their mid-career stuff a little bit more. But I did listen to a bit of this. And let's see, Face of Destruction, Deep Hit of Death off of Possessed 13. Okay. I was checking out their set list before, and I was expecting to play Zombified off of Possessed 13, but yeah, they hit Face of Destruction, Deep Hit of Death, and it was great. You know, I don't know.
If they're hanging it up, but it's like they are still tight and all, like it's a shame. It's a shame they're not going to play anymore.
I know. They took a brief. They did the intro to Crowned in Terror, and then played Crowned in Terror, which was spectacular. They played The Poison, which is an earlier song, and then Kill the Priest, which was fast as shit.
Oh yeah. Someone was shouting for that song the whole night.
Yeah. And then they...
yeah, it was a lady, right? She gave you Kill the Priest between every song. And she was singing along, but not even like screaming. That song, she was like, Kill the Priest.
That's awesome.
It was just funny. I liked it.
And then they finished off with Total Satan, which again is off of Death Race King. Total Satan is a nuts song. Now, like, in terms of album closers, I like Death Metal Holocaust off of Crowned in Terror, which is a fabulous song, but Total Satan it's just super fast, and saying Total Satan over and over again is just metal as fuck. So, yeah, that after, and that was it, you know, there was no encore, there was nothing like that. It was, and I'd say at Death Fest, and I guess this is probably true of most fests, there's not really much in the way of encores. But yeah, like The Crown was one of the best shows I've seen. Yeah, they were just magnificent. And that's when we left. You know, there were a few other bands playing, but we didn't have tickets.
I was also tired by then.
Yeah, because we're old.
So here's my one complaint about Death Fest. About the actual Death Fest, and not to be separated from my earlier complaints. If you go to deathfests.com/information, all right, you get like an aerial picture of the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, you see Angel's Rock Bar on there. You see that white structure just above where it says rock?
Yeah.
The white rectangle that's kind of canted.
Yeah.
That is a cover for the Baltimore subway entrance.
Oh.
Yes, Baltimore has a subway.
Yes.
There is one line, and they built the most useless line first. It goes to Owings Mills, which is just a suburb to the west that didn't really pan out the way they expected it to. There's like a shopping mall there. That's what there is there. No,
Not anymore.
there was a shopping mall. Right, they knocked it down.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to, every time I go to Baltimore now, just so I don't have to deal with parking or traffic or whatever, I take the light rail or the subway if I have to. It would be so convenient to take the subway in and just get spit out right there. Unfortunately, you have to walk all the way down to Lombard. So we were all the way up at the power plant stage. You'd have to walk all the way down to Lombard and then along the fence all the way back up to get into the subway. But the last train leaves just after midnight, and the Crown ended at midnight. So there was zero chance that
Right.
would have worked. Now the light rail is multiple blocks west of here. Like it's a hike, but
Yeah.
that's another option. But same, the trains stop running around midnight. So for old people, maybe they should consider closing early. You know, the outdoor stuff. You know, that's just my or put bands that aren't amazing last.
Right.
Don't do that. Put someone I'll miss
Right.
like on purpose so I can take this because I'm not missing the Crown. That's my point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, I do have to brag. I did see the Crown. We looked it up in like 2002 or 3.
Yeah. Which is amazing. I'm so jealous.
Yes. I'm very proud of that. And that's I bought Death Race King at Jack's, which we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
and a Christian shirt because they were on that tour too. All right, let's move on to Saturday. Oh, I figured it out. If you zoom in enough on the web page, it'll switch to plain text. All the
Oh.
logos. I had it zoomed in. That's why.
That explains a lot. Okay. All right.
Saturday.
Yeah. So there are bands that I would have loved to have seen. I would have loved to have seen Pig Destroyer play this Prowler in the Yard set.
There's also Creator and Destruction. Creator did Deep Cuts. Destruction, I don't know what Infernal Overkill is, but I saw both of those bands in at Vakken forever ago.
Right.
And they're good. I just didn't want to
Yeah.
go to a whole nother day just to see them. So, and then Quiplash, Warbringer, and Torture Rack.
Who I don't really know much about.
That's all Marketplace.
Power Plant Live, we got Sinister, who I actually don't know.
Okay, Sinister is, well, it says tribute because I guess the one guy couldn't make it, and I think he was the last remaining guy or something. So Sinister famously was on Beavis and Butthead. And there's a great scene where they have like this chalice in the music video. And for some reason, the hands keep coming and then turning it like 45 degrees. And they cut back to this like every so often.
Right.
Like, what is this about? So that's Sinister.
Okay.
So they've been around a while.
I would have liked to have seen Mortician.
Yeah. Like what is it? If I had, I have 3 kids and no money. And if I had no money and 3 kids,
I get you.
it's the quote from The Simpsons. I don't have 3 kids. But yeah, if I had more money and time, yeah, I'd probably go to this just to see Destruction, Mortician, Sinister, and Creator.
Macabre, I love.
That's clearly Macabre.
Macabre, I love.
I don't know Macabre.
So they do this thing, and I'm going to describe it, and you're going to roll your eyes at it. But they do this thing where, so they sing almost exclusively about serial killers. And
That's kind of macabre.
and they often integrate like children's songs into them. But it's more how to put it? It's more deranged than ironic, if that makes sense. It works better than it has any right to. And I like them a lot. I think I saw them at one of the, I definitely saw them at one of the earlier Death Fests. But yeah, I love them. So I would have loved to have seen them. More to Scold, I've heard of. Laceration, I've heard of. And then okay.
All right, Nevermore Hall, 1914. Havokrunu, Hell Butcher, Sardonic Witchery, Poltergeist. Soundstage, Rotten Sound.
I would have liked to have seen that.
I wouldn't want to be in there after Shitstorm played. Miasmic Necrosis, Jarhead, Fertilizer, Ossuary, Terror Corpse, Mellow Harsher. Is because they're harshing your mellow, or is it a harsher that is mellow? I don't know.
Yeah.
Gestation and Dead Void. That was all at Soundstage. And then an Angels Rock Bar, Glorious Depravity, Atavistic Decay, Desolus. Desolus is a great band. I forget if they're from Baltimore, DC, or Richmond, but they are somewhat local.
Okay.
But
All
again,
right.
I don't need to go to Death Fest to see them.
So
All right, that's Sunday.
yeah, so I wasn't sure if I was going to go this day, but I wanted to see Grave because this is old school death metal and it's just very solid. And then I was like, well, I'm going to be there. I should probably see Sarcophago. So it's not really Sarcophago.
It's like one guy, right?
Well, so it's The Laws, and the only founding member is Gerald Incubus Minnelli. But at one point in The Laws, one of the other founding guitarists were involved. So it's about as close as you're going to get. I don't know Sarcophago all that well. But it's like, hey, they're here. This is probably as close as I'm going to get to seeing them. So I arrived more or less just in time for Grave. They put on a great show. And so did Sarcophago. It was just really fun. Death Angel, I don't know anything about.
Death
apparently.
Angel is one of those thrash bands. They played Act 3, which I think is one of the most overrated thrash metal albums. Maybe because it was talked up too much. They're like, oh, you have to. I was bored by Act 3.
Okay.
That might be sacrilege, but, try harder to have a great album, maybe.
Right.
Cancer and Caveman Cult also played the main stage.
I would have liked to have seen Cancer. But
Man, people really hate that band. I see
Really?
People wearing "fuck cancer" shirts. Want to put an end to cancer? I bet they're. Never mind. Power Plant Live, Dying Fetus, Old School Set, first 3 albums. Maybe that would have been good. Violence, another thrash band. Blood Red Throne, and Unmerciful. Again, if I think I would have had a good time if I if I came on Sunday as well.
yeah. Nevermore Hall, Batushka. And so apparently this band has been going through some drama.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
So it formed, and it was between two. And forgive me, I know if anybody is listening to this, they're going to be like, "Oh my God, you idiot!" But the okay, so the guy who formed it, his name is all in Cyrillic on here.
Everyone's fucking yelling at you now.
Yeah, he formed it, and then he asked somebody else to join, and then basically what happened is that the guy who joined sort of just went off and did his own thing with the name.
So, to summarize, Pink Floyd. All right.
Yeah, and now
Oh.
he's got the original guy has the band back, and like rights to the name and everything. Which
So it's not really.
it's the original guy who formed it, so that's who played it, and it seemed like they seem to be fairly popular, but I haven't listened to them at all. So that would have been fun to see. And Oceans, I also would have liked to see.
Ooh.
And Oceans.
This is ... You see.
But yeah, I didn't have tickets to this. Antichrist Siege Machine, Woe, Wrath Prayer, Aberration. Don't know shit about any of these bands.
Me neither.
Cephalic Carnage, I do know this band. I don't have anything against them, but I don't really know their stuff. Contusion, Sex Prisoner is such a terrible name.
How could go Grind Time, Aftermath, Excrescence, Hemorrhoid, and Aisle 19. And then
Hemorrhoids.
Block Bar, Cemetery Moon, Guts for Lot, and Tomorrow.
Hemorrhoid.
Hemorrhoid, yeah. So that's a good band name, right?
Well, I get the whole, like, we're going to open up a medical textbook and we're going to name it after something disturbing, right? But hemorrhoid.
Yeah, and normally I would have taken this and gone through all the bands, but again, just did Saturday or Friday. Like, yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, I think this would have been great, if we had decided to go. Because I could easily, if I were out of state and it was like the Crown's playing, this is the last time they're playing in the U.S., period.
Right.
I would have gone, and I would have gone and I would have probably angled for like a 3-day, 4-day pass. I just lived it up, right? But being in the situation that we're in, it's like, I'll pay $80, I'll go see the Crown. And I'm happy. Overall, I had a really good time seeing the bands that I saw.
Yeah, I'd go back. I don't know if I'd do more than one day again.
The early bird ticket prices are pretty good.
Frankly, I didn't think $88 was too bad.
Yeah. The early bird 4-day pass is like $280 or something like that.
That's too much for me.
It's a lot, but it's also like for the 4 venues going back and forth for 4 days.
Yeah, that's just too much death metal. Like, for
Fair
me,
enough.
I'm not huge into death metal, Yeah. So like, yeah, I have a shelf life, but yeah, I think 1 day is great, 2 days, iffy, 4 days, too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
I know people who eat this up and like live nearby, but still get a hotel because they love it so much. And it is a great festival, and it's close by, and yeah, everything's great about it. It's just they aren't getting me spot on,
Yeah, I think if they got certain bands, I would probably go all in.
Yeah, so every year I got to look up the lineup and then decide, It's not a given, which it is for a lot of people. So, and I get it. And so on Instagram, I did see there were a few things happening that I've seen from Death Fest. Lots of good pictures, but like one of them was like an almost fight in the crowd, And I was expecting more drunk people. We only encountered a few, but like, yeah, there was some drunk people being aggressive for no reason. And then there was slow-mo mosh pits.
I saw that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the crowd is generally pretty kind. Like,
yeah, it's whatever image people have of death metal fans probably looks right, but not acting like you'd expect. They're all just standing there, like just enjoying the music and not slaughtering a goat. That's more of a black metal thing.
I gotta find that article that I found. It was like the gist of it was that hipsters were liking black metal and going to black metal shows and then being surprised that black metal musicians are assholes.
Like, yeah, that's the point.
So it's like talking with Gaul or something like that. It's like, he's not very nice. It's like, what do you want, man?
Well,
anyway.
So hopefully, so they're going to announce some of next year's bands soon, like within a week. So I'm going to get this episode up as fast as possible.
Yeah. I'm interested to see who they're going to get. There was one particular band that I really wanted to see, which is Two, like the Obliteration of Humanity. They're one of those Czech grind bands, and they're nuts. But alas,
I thought it was Two, Rob Halford's techno band that tried to sound like Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, not quite.
Oh, all right.
Alrighty.
All right, well, until next time, Metal Nation, make sure your Death Fest ends early enough so I can take the subway to a failed suburb.
Cast them down.
The subway is one line, and they still call it the red line or the green line or whatever. It's like, you can just call it the line.
Right. All right. One of my favorite shows of all time. I saw Agalloch at the Jacks. It ended at 7.
Called it the Jacks.
I've always fucked this up at Jacks.
Jacks, yeah.
But it ended at like 7 or 8. I walk outside. It's light out. It's like, this is great.